Elder Scrolls March player count on Steam. Elder Scrolls Online is 20,947 players. Fallout 76 March player count 8,577. Skyrim, after 11 years, March player count 5,964.
Still running strong.
Yeah. I think that Skyrim thing's kind of significant too, because the release date currently is what? November 11th, 2022, right?
Something
And
like that.
Skyrim released November 11th, 2011. So it was 11/11/11. Now it's 11/11/22. So I think that date is kind of I feel like this actually, like Antoine says, oh, they don't have pressure from Microsoft, or they have Microsoft behind them, so they don't have so much pressure. But I feel like in a way they have more pressure just because the significance of that date releasing 11 years after Skyrim, when Skyrim was 11/11/11. I feel like that date, it was very specifically chosen, and not hitting that date I don't think it'll actually hurt them at all. But I think from their perspective, there's a huge significance on, we have to hit this date because this date is very significant. So I think that puts pressure on them. And I feel like on the Microsoft end, yeah, financially there's not so much pressure, but I feel like there's actually more pressure to perform because they have to justify because Microsoft has been making these big buyouts, and this is going to be the first game that kind of comes out as the fruit of those buyouts. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure on it to perform to kind of justify these buyouts by Microsoft.
You mean Disney and Star Wars?
Like
Disney buying Star Wars?
Like Disney buying Star Wars, right? Exactly. So because they bought out ZeniMax, and then now they've bought out Blizzard, and I feel like, obviously Microsoft's going to be fine. There's no problem for them, but I feel like in a way, if Starfield does not perform well, that's going to hit the stock. It's going to hit the shareholders, because there was this whole thing like, why are we doing these buyouts? We're doing it to get these games, because that's been kind of the meme for a while. Xbox doesn't have games. So if it doesn't perform, shareholders are not going to be happy with that. They're not going to accept that. So I feel like in that sense, there's a lot of pressure that this game absolutely has to be. It's going to make money. It's Bethesda. It's going to make money. The money's not the issue. It's reception. They cannot have a Cyberpunk situation. It has to be an Elden Ring situation. So I feel like in that sense, it's going to put more pressure on them.
Talking about reception, do you think, because we were talking earlier about pre-purchasing it, do you think it's going to be part of the Xbox Pass?
Oh, absolutely. They've already announced it will.
So
it's going to be day one Game Pass.
Day one Game Pass. So guys, if you don't have Game Pass like me, that's all the reason you have. You're going to buy it. Game Pass is what, 10 or...
It's like $18 a month or something like that.
No, cheaper than that. That is PlayStation up there.
That's Spartacus.
Game Pass is $9 a month.
Is it? I saw something where they said that Game Pass is more expensive than...
No.
No.
The downside of PlayStation. Game Pass is much cheaper.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Game Pass Ultimate. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Not to mention, Game Pass will be the
Game Pass
family
Ultimate
plan.
is $18. Yeah, they're going to do the family plan now.
And I think that will knock. It's not competing with Play, but PlayStation will have to come up with something, because it's just like YouTube Premium, right? I pay like 200 something Taiwan dollars, like less than $10 a month, and you, Bella, me, my partner, somebody else is on there. I forgot who is the fifth person, but yeah. And you can split that like.
I don't know if you saw the meme of Will Smith hitting Chris Rock at the Oscar. Will Smith with the head of Xbox Game Pass, and Chris Rock being Spartacus. Whoosh.
Yeah, no, I think Game Pass is definitely once Game Pass Family comes out, I'll be buying that for sure.
Oh yeah, if you could split it 5 ways.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll just be buying it for myself, and then other people can sort of enjoy the benefit. Going back to what Adam said about drones, so PC Gamer has an article published 8 hours ago. Starfield's Vasco is basically a robotic space donkey. but I will include that in the show notes today. But literally, what Adam said is what is actually is coming is a little robot companion. It looks like a sort of like a Mad
Bipedal
Cat from
rover.
like BattleTech, and
Kinda, yeah.
yeah. So it's
Got a
I
picture of
think
it
that is
somewhere.
exactly what we're gonna have. I put the link in the chat for the call, and you guys can have a look at
Thanks.
that. No problem. I think that's cool. It's like as Adam was talking about it, I'm like, oh wow, look at this. Adam's right.
Guy right here.
Yes, Vasco. Yes, and that's a cool name. So it reminds me of Vasco da Gama from Portugal, who came and founded my hometown in South Africa.
That's probably what he's named for.
Yes, and given that we have 5 minutes left, I will save my part for another day and another time.
Convenience that he's speculating and he's going to be like, I'll just wait until we have a little more to speak
It's all
about.
reality. I don't need to speculate anymore.
More content for next time, eh?
Okay, but going back to what Antoine said earlier, where he said he wasn't sure when they started Starfield, I looked it up. So Starfield was trademarked back in 2013, but it wasn't officially announced until 2018.
Oh,
Yeah, they trademarked this a long time ago.
so they would be
There
named
were,
like.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
there were
Anton.
saying that they thought about this game for a while, huh?
Yep,
In the first video.
they were thinking about it for a long time.
They just
So,
said that it
yeah.
just didn't have the actual means to do it, but now they do.
Yeah, I don't know when development started, but yeah, trademark was back in 2013, so they were at least talking about it back then.
So I mean, they would have been doing like do the trademark and then do storyboards, brainstorming, that sort of stuff, coming up with an appropriate idea. I mean, that would have taken years as well, because I mean, all the content you want to put into the game, and then when the processors and all that stuff, like, and I was looking, Amazon has a sale on 8-core, no, even 12-core, 24-thread processors. I mean, that's power, and it's like $300. It's like the price of taking a plane from Dallas Airport to San Francisco, I guess. I don't know why.
Obscure reference.
I'm looking at it like, yeah, we talked about Virginian airports, and I remember Dallas Airport, and then I was like, I guess this is what probably I don't know why I said it.
I would have
Anyway,
I would have said it was like about between the price of an Xbox S series and X series, but you went with the plane.
Dude, yes, that would have been much better.
It's like that's an obscure reference there.
But yeah. I think it's definitely. I mean, technology, power and graphics cards. The news has said themselves that like the price of graphics cards have been dropping. I haven't. I went to the store yesterday. I should have actually looked. But if that's the case, that should mean that come November, more people have access to play this game. Not to mention APUs. So you have, Amazon. Or I say Amazon. AMD does APUs, and APUs like the 4600 series. Very affordable. You play a lot of games in 1080p without a graphics card in a laptop. You could even do that for a desktop as well. So I think that's going to be fantastic. Yes. Gents, any final thoughts on Starfield? Let's say, let's do this way. What's one thing you want from Starfield? Since I didn't talk about desires, we'll go Antoine first.
I want to have a trailer on gameplay rather than cinematics. I want to see just a taste. I want to have a taste of what it's gonna look like, rather than look like, what's gonna play like.
All right, Adam.
I'm always a big. What I would love to see is some sort of ship customization. Hopefully, you'll be able to buy different models of ships, but then also maybe customize them a bit. Upgrading engines or just panels, and just kind of build your own home.
Mods
on
it.
Well, obviously you'll be able to mod it, but with the mods. But I kind of hope that the ship is kind of your home, in the sense that, like, say Skyrim, you had town building and that sort of things, and then in what was it? Was it Hearth?
Yeah.
It's Stonehearth.
Stonehearth, you kind of could build your own home. I kind of hope that the ship will be your home, and I think that would give them a lot of focus, because then they can be like, hey, we don't need to have 7 different places that people can mod, just one that moves around. So I kind of hope that they do that and allow you to customize your ship.
It's a bit like a Star Citizen. In Star Citizen, really, the ship is your home, so...
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, yeah, that's one thing that I always liked about, say, Star Wars, you know, the Millennium Falcon was the size of a house. You know, it was their house. You know, it's where they live. That's where their rooms are. That's where the kitchen is. So yeah, that's what I hope for.
For me, I would like, and I just sort of discovered this on Wasteland as well, is they have like in Wasteland you have infinite inventory, so you don't have to worry about going back to town to sell stuff, or they could do the Torchlight thing where, you know, if you played any of the Torchlights, one of the great innovations there was you had a dog, and whenever you wanted to sell stuff, you don't want to go back to town and sort of interrupt your dungeoneering. You could put everything to your dog and say, "Hey, dog, go back, sell my stuff, come back and give me the money." And that's what the dog would do, right? And the dog would be gone for like 3 or 4 in-game minutes. And while the dog was gone, you'd keep slashing, you know, killing, looting and stuff. And I think that's something I would love, because I hate sort of interrupting gameplay to have to go back and sell stuff and do, you know, attribute points and say, okay, this goes here, re-kit your guys. And that always sucks up precious time. As a middle-aged gamer, when you have kids or a wife or other commitments, you want to have the greatest amount of fun time that you can have in a short amount of time.
Sounds like a good use for the robot mule.
Oh yeah,
Would be nice, but to be honest, Bethesda has always, you know, put the weight kind of stuff in their gameplay, so that would be a bit against their traditions. So
It would, but it'd be an interesting mechanic, seeing
nice.
different planets with different gravity, you know, and how that affects your carry
yeah.
capacity. It's like on this
I
planet
love
you
that
can only
idea.
carry 2 things, but on that planet you can carry 11.
In a low gravity planet,
Yeah.
you can carry as much as the guy in Death Stranding. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't expect that though. I'm not expecting there to be different gravitational. I think that would be too complex. So
Yeah.
not
That'd be nice,
expecting
though.
that.